Hi guys, so a little bit about me before I tell you my dream that um, God made me dream about. So I grew up with parents that fought a lot, and they finally got divorced when I was in high school, and I didn't really start truly going to church until after high school. My dad would drag me to church. Yeah, I had interest. Yeah, I believed in God. Yeah, I wanted to be closer to God. But church was just not fun. So I didn't really feel like I was anybody special, that, God can't use me, I don't even commit to church that often, like what is, like it just, church wasn't for me, which is now what I'm seeing a lot in today's generations, where kids they're more spiritual than they are religious, which is kind of where I'm at. But anyways, so I figured I'm just an average Joe. Nobody special. God's not going to use me. I'm just going to go about my business. Well, it was about, my senior year of high school, back in 2009. I had a friend, and she would always invite me to her church, and she was Pentecostal, and I'm Baptist, I didn't believe in the whole speaking in tongues and falling over and stuff. First, I thought it was a big joke, and I thought it was funny, which it's not. But anyways, I went to her church, and there was a spark put in me that I can't really explain. Like, just something was pulling me to get to know who Jesus was more, like on a personal level. Like, yeah, I know what Jesus can do and what he's done, but I want to know what his favorite color is, type of pull that was pulling me to the church, and my interest. And her whole family, they're very religious and spiritual, and that intrigued me. Like, I didn't grow up like that. I wish I had somebody who did that. I wish I had parents who taught me, all about God. But I had to really pretty much figure it out all on my own and read the Bible for myself. Not bashing my parents, just I wish I grew up with religious parents, But there's a spark put in me, and I'd go with her to church a lot, and I just became interested. I was at a point where I would read my Bible every night. I'd watch the 700 Club, like just special things to keep me in touch with God and to grow. And God he started talking to me through dreams. Now, he talks to people in several ways, but to me, it's through dreams. And so, I'm not going to tell you what those dreams were, but I'm going to tell you about my recent one. But before I get to that, so I was pretty close, tight-knit with God. I had just gotten out of a relationship, feeling low, and I needed God. And I was happy. I was really happy. I felt great. And then as my relationship started to grow with him, these bad things started happening. One night I'd go to sleep and I'd feel bumping under my bed. And yeah, I have a dog and I have a cat, but they weren't in my room. And I'd hear screaming, like blood-curdling screaming coming from outside. Like things were just like messing with me. Things would move in the middle of the night, so I knew it was Satan trying to, scare me and get my attention. And it scared me, yeah. And I would go to my friend's mom and I'd tell her what happened, and, just stay strong in your faith, Rachel, and, don't let it shake you. It's just, well, it scared me to the point where I quit reading the Bible, which is exactly what that devil wanted. He wanted me to stop reading the Bible, stop watching my favorite 700 Club show. He wanted me to stop, and he got that. He got what he wanted, and I let him. And I didn't really realize that at the time. I was like, whoa, I don't want to be, possessed or anything, lifted in the air. Sorry. I was kind of ignorant to all that stuff at the time, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was like, well, if I'm going to keep reading the Bible, is this going to continue? Is it going to get worse? But it didn't, because when stuff like that would start to happen, I just pull out my Bible and start, say the Lord's Prayer, and I would, tell that thing it needs to get the heck out of my room because I'm not playing today and I got Jesus on my side. You don't know who you're messing with, devil, type stuff. So, that's my background. And since then, I've kind of, I don't know why or how, but I've stopped doing that for the most part. I haven't read my Bible in a while, but I need to get back in the groove. Well, recently, it was like a few months ago, I had a dream. I was inside a church, and I knew in my dream I was in the Catholic Church. There was no signs or anything saying I was in the Catholic Church, but I was in a Catholic church. When God gives you a dream, you just know. You just know that it's God telling you something, and you just know where you're at, I guess. So I knew I was in a Catholic church, and I was walking down the aisles, and there's lots of people, and they were taking notes and listening to this guy preach. Well, when I started listening to what he had to say, it was a bunch of gibberish, stuff that made no sense. I can't tell you exactly what he said, because in my dream I didn't know what he was saying, but I just knew that it was all gibberish, and it made no sense whatsoever. So I started running up and down the aisles, yelling at people, "Are you crazy? How could you believe this guy? He's filling your head full of nonsense." And there's people that were ignoring me and still taking down notes what the guy was saying. And in my dream, not saying the Pope or whatever, because in my dream it was the Pope. Eventually it came to me, it was the Pope who was talking. I'm not saying he's the Antichrist, but I'm just saying what he was telling the people were a bunch of gibberish. Nothing that Jesus had said was true. It was just a bunch of unheard of stuff you can't find in the Bible that he said was in the Bible. It was just a bunch of gibberish, and I was really, really upset, screaming at these people to stop listening to him. And then, of course, that's when my dream ended. So I wake up, and I'm like, that was a dream from God, no doubt. And it was pretty obvious what the dream was about. The Catholic Church is being misled in what they're being taught. And so I went on YouTube, and I was looking up a bunch of Illuminati stuff. If you don't know what Illuminati is, go Google it. That's a whole nother topic. And so I was looking up that, and somebody had posted a video of Pope Illuminati satanic worshiping during Vatican service or whatever like that. I'm not into the Catholic Church, so I don't really know much about it and what goes on. I just know that I don't, for instance, they wear rosaries and stuff, blessed medals, okay, and holy water, that's great, but Jesus didn't wear all that fancy clothing that they wear. He didn't have a rosary. I'm just trying to do stuff what Jesus did and listen to what he taught, not what some guy who wears a fancy white hat and sits in a golden chair says, I go straight to the source, which is the Bible, and what God and what Jesus taught, So, don't mean to offend anybody, that's just my personal opinion, whatever. So, and I saw that video, so I clicked on it, and apparently they were worshiping Satan. This little kid was singing in some language, but there was a translation down at the bottom translating what he was singing about, and it was singing about Lucifer. Hail Lucifer. I was like, what? And then the video goes on, and the Pope was denying the Trinity. He said Jesus was a good man, but Jesus isn't God. That's what he was saying. He's like, God tells Jesus things, but Jesus isn't God. That's what he was preaching. He totally denied the Trinity. I was like, wow. Where do I go from here? Yeah, and that was to a mass of thousands of people. So, of course, they're going to listen to him because he's the new chosen pope, you know, and that's what they believe, sadly. They're going to believe what he says. God put that dream in my heart, and I have to tell people about it. I don't have the best words of telling people about it. I don't know how to express things perfectly or how to get the word out perfectly in a nice fancy way. I'm just saying it how it is. That was my dream. It was by God, and what's happening in the Catholic Church is not good. No, it's not. And you don't have to be somebody special who works in the church or does a bunch of fancy stuff. You can just be an average Joe like me, and God will talk to you. He's real. He's given me several other dreams, but that one seemed to be on my heart the most, and I just have to share it because it's what you're supposed to do. God put something on your heart, do something about it. Don't just sit there and, yeah, he gave me a dream. So what? I'll go write it down in my journal of dreams. No, like, do something about it. So if you feel that little spark that I felt a couple years ago, it's probably God trying to get your attention because he's going to use you for great things. And just like he's using me right now to make this video. Hope y'all have a great day.